September 30th, 2025. The sun was still rising above Seoul when hundreds of fans and photographers crowded the departure hall of Incheon International Airport. Rumors had already spread the night before. Jimin was scheduled to fly to Paris. By the time he arrived, the airport had transformed into a stage, with every eye and every lens waiting for one glimpse of him. When Jimin finally appeared, the atmosphere shifted instantly. Dressed in a striped button-down shirt, the top button slightly undone, paired with wide-leg black trousers, he carried himself with a quiet confidence. His blonde hair, long and perfectly styled, caught the morning light and made him stand out in the sea of travelers. Without even trying, Jimin commanded attention, walking through the terminal as if it was his own personal runway. It wasn't just the outfit. Fans quickly noticed the carefully chosen details: silver hoop earrings, a subtle but elegant long necklace, and a set of minimalist rings. His black leather bag and polished shoes tied the look together. Jimin has long been known for blending simplicity with luxury, and this airport appearance reminded everyone why he is often called the king of airport fashion. Within minutes, social media erupted. Hashtags like #JiminAtIncheon, #Paris Fashion Week with Jimin, and #The Prettiest Man Alive began trending worldwide. Fans from Korea, Japan, the US, Europe, and Southeast Asia flooded timelines with photos, praising how he could look both casual and breathtaking at the same time. On Weverse, international armies shared emotional posts about how much they had missed moments like these since his military service. Jimin's trip to Paris was not just a casual schedule. As Dior's global ambassador, his presence at the Spring-Summer 2026 show is expected to draw massive global attention. Industry insiders whispered about possible collaborations, new campaigns, and even rumors of Jimin walking the runway. For Dior, having Jimin attend Paris Fashion Week is more than a brand move. It's a cultural event, merging music, fashion, and global fandom. Every change in Jimin's hairstyle sparks discussion, and this time was no different. Fans interpreted his return to blonde as a symbolic rebirth, a nod to his iconic eras like Serendipity and Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Some saw it as a statement of confidence, that Jimin was ready to reclaim the world stage with a bold, unforgettable look. Fashion journalists praised it as a clever move. Blonde Jimin aligns perfectly with the European high fashion aesthetic. Korean media outlets were quick to release headlines. BTS's Jimin turns airport into runway ahead of Paris Fashion Week, and Jimin's casual luxury sets new fashion standard. International outlets followed within hours, highlighting how Jimin's appearance could influence fashion trends. Stylists and fashion bloggers dissected every part of his outfit, predicting that loose striped shirts and wide-leg pants would spike in popularity this season. For fans, this wasn't just about clothes. It was about seeing Jimin, free after his military service, walking confidently into his global era again. Many armies at the airport were seen crying, waving banners, and calling out his name. Their reaction wasn't only about his look, but about the relief and joy of witnessing his return to international schedules after nearly 2 years. Jimin's Paris trip symbolizes more than Fashion Week. It marks BTS's gradual return to the world stage. With whispers of a new album and a 2026 world tour, his appearance in Paris carries weight. It's a reminder that BTS is not just coming back musically, but also as cultural leaders, with Jimin at the forefront in fashion and artistry. As Jimin boards his flight to Paris, speculation continues. Will he sit front row at Dior alongside Hollywood stars and fashion elites? Will he debut a new solo project in collaboration with Dior? Or will this be the beginning of BTS's grand return campaign? Whatever the answer, one thing is certain: Jimin's airport look was not just an outfit.
It was a statement.
A signal that a new chapter is beginning for him, for BTS, and for ARMY around the world. While Jimin's flight was still in the air, Paris was already buzzing with excitement. Fashion insiders, photographers, and celebrity watchers marked his arrival on their calendars. High-end magazines speculated on what he would wear, which events he might attend, and whether he would surprise everyone with an exclusive Dior campaign unveiling. The City of Lights was ready to welcome its K-pop prince. One of the hottest questions in the fashion world was simple yet electrifying. Would Jimin just sit front row at Dior's SS26 show, or would he actually walk the runway? Several anonymous stylists hinted that Dior had something unprecedented planned. Some believed Jimin might debut as a surprise model, a move that would make global headlines instantly. For Korean media, Jimin's attendance at Paris Fashion Week was more than a personal achievement. It symbolized the growing influence of Korean culture worldwide. As both a BTS member and Dior ambassador, Jimin carried with him the pride of his country. His every step was covered by Korean outlets, framing him as a cultural diplomat bridging East and West. While armies in Korea waved goodbye at Incheon, thousands of fans in Paris organized their own welcome. Online communities coordinated meeting points near Dior's venue, with banners, slogans, and even purple-themed outfits. Some fans traveled from other European cities just to catch a glimpse of Jimin stepping out of his car. For many, it wasn't just about fashion, it was about witnessing history. By the time Jimin's plane touched down, millions of posts had already been shared. TikTok edits of his blonde airport look reached millions of views. Instagram fan pages curated Jimin's Paris diaries, even before he arrived. Twitter threads analyzed the symbolism of his accessories, while fashion accounts praised his understated but impactful styling. It was proof of how one airport appearance could dominate the digital conversation worldwide. Amid the frenzy, some fans reflected on the emotional side of Jimin's journey. Just a year earlier, he was serving in the military, unseen in international schedules. Now, he was flying across continents, being awaited by the world. For ARMY, his airport appearance wasn't only glamorous, it was deeply human. It reminded them of his resilience, growth, and the journey that brought him back to the global spotlight. As Jimin prepared for Paris Fashion Week, whispers of music lingered in the air. Could Dior's event tie in with BTS's upcoming projects? Rumors suggested that Jimin might film promotional content in Paris that connected fashion with BTS's anticipated 2026 album. The merging of two worlds, luxury fashion and global music, seemed inevitable, and Jimin was at the center of it. Observers noted how Jimin's presence at Dior was more than just another celebrity appearance. It was a cultural reset. By standing alongside Hollywood icons, top models, and fashion legends, Jimin redefined what it means for a K-pop idol to exist on the world stage. He wasn't just participating in Fashion Week, he was shaping its narrative. The anticipation surrounding Jimin's Paris trip once again proved the power of ARMY. Their coordinated online campaigns, streaming projects, and global fanbases ensured that every step he took became international news. Fashion journalists admitted that no Western celebrity could generate this level of pre-show buzz. Jimin, with ARMY behind him, was a phenomenon the fashion industry couldn't ignore. As Jimin settled into his Paris schedule, fans, media, and the fashion world collectively held their breath. Tomorrow, Dior's SS26 show would begin. And with Jimin in the spotlight, the world was waiting for a moment that could go down in both music and fashion history. Perhaps the most talked about feature of Jimin's airport appearance was not his shirt, his jewelry, or even his aura. It was his blonde hair. To the untrained eye, it might have seemed like a simple style choice, but for ARMY, every detail carries weight, and blonde Jimin has always symbolized a turning point. Historically, Jimin's blonde eras have been linked to iconic moments: his breathtaking Blood, Sweat and Tears era, the unforgettable DNA promotions, and his haunting performance of Lie. Each time he has returned to blonde, it has marked the start of something fresh and powerful in his career.